Thank you so much for joining me. This is Julie Tussey, your host of The Julie Tussey Show. I have a fabulous podcast for you today. We've been doing a 3-part series. You can go back to episode 172 and 173 and catch up if you'd like. And today on episode 174, we're going to be talking about tired is the new sexy. And the new mommy. That's right. How can that mommy and daddy get some sleep? We're going to give you some tips and some tricks right here on the Julie Tussey Show. Welcome. While you're here, please leave us a good review and share this with your friends and family so we can reach more and more people, keeping you in the know on the Julie Tussey Show. Get on the Julie Tussey train. We're going somewhere, baby.
Pop the glam pain. It's time for the Julie Tussey Show live guest current event scathing exposés. The original suburban bombshell, the big blonde baby, giving you the fastest, funniest, most informative 30 minutes of your life. And now, here's Julie Tussey.
Thank you so much for joining me here on the Julie Tussey Show. We are on a mission to keep you in the know on the Julie Tussey Show, and I'm so glad to be here with you today. Well, we've been doing a few 15-minute-ish podcasts. Normally we do 30 because we're talking about tired is the new sexy. Yes, you heard it right. After raising 6 kids, chasing 8 grandchildren, tired is the new sexy. I had to coin it because if I didn't, I was going to not be sexy anymore. And that's very important. So we talked in our first podcast about tired is the new sexy. We talked about sleep deprivation or lack of sleep because of perimenopause and menopause. So you can listen to that if you haven't heard it already. Then our second part, we talked about sleep loss due to stress and what we can do to cope with that. Now today we're going to talk about a great subject, and it's going to be sleep deprivation after baby. In other words, tired is the new sexy for a new mommy. So there's a lot of things that we could study, and this is one of the things I want to talk to you about because there is such a vital need for you to get rest through the different stages of life. So first, we're teenagers and we get all the sleep in the whole world, and then we get married and we have babies and we don't get any sleep, and then we live our life and have so much stress, and so that's another factor of not enough sleep. And then we go from there into perimenopause, maybe sometimes at the same time, and then on to menopause and postmenopause. And so many things can disrupt our sleep, but it's not healthy to not get rest and sleep. And I'm talking about some deep REMs, some deep sleep. So let's read this article from parents.com. It's called Sleep Deprivation After Baby. After you have a baby, you'll probably need more sleep than ever before, and here's how to get it. The ABCs of ZZZs. Do you remember a wonderful nightly activity that involves closing your eyes and remaining horizontal for 8 hours until sunrise? I remember that. If you have a baby, you probably don't remember it. A poll by the National Sleep Foundation found that 76% of parents have frequent sleep problems. Of course, none of this is news, especially if you have an infant. Now, I have had 2 sets of twins. That's all I've ever had. And you want to talk about sleep deprivation? I don't think I slept for the first 6 months. And when my babies reached 6 months old, they were preemie, but they were big enough then to take a nice 8-ounce bottle of milk. I would give them a bottle of milk, and it was very painful, and it might be old school, but I'm telling you, it works. I let them cry for one whole night. They cried in their room for 3 hours. I cried in my room for 3 hours. But from there on out, they sleep through the night most of the time unless something is wrong. So once they're big enough that they're not going to starve to death, And they have all kinds of wonderful things for us. We have monitors and cameras and anything and everything you could ever need. So I would say if sleep deprivation is going on beyond, you might have to bite the bullet and take the big girl panties way. Pull up those big girl panties and let your child cry it out for a night. They're not going to die. They're going to breathe because they're crying, they're breathing, and they're going to be okay. So many parents today don't do it that way. And as I've told you before, I look younger than I am. So I have a lot of experience with this, and especially with 2 sets of twins, it really boiled down to survival. It was a choice of survival or suffering for 3 hours while they cried it through the night, because they're so used to the routine you have now and you rocking them and you being with them at their every beck and call. But I think it's really healthy for them to learn that it's okay to be alone, and mommy and daddy are right there really close. If something's wrong, you'll go in and check on them. So definitely give that a try. But let me finish with this article. All right. Clearly, sleep deprivation, whether it's due to the arrival of a baby, a bout of insomnia, or other problems, is nothing to yawn at. The good news is that there are strategies you can use to get the rest you need. Related 8 ways to combat new mom sleep troubles is a link in here. So you may want to come and find this article. It's parents.com, and it is called Sleep Deprivation After Baby. So they've got even some more stuff. Now, we often think of sleep as one solid, unchanging state of unconsciousness, but there are actually 2 different types of sleep: rapid eye movement, which is REM, known as dream sleep, and non-REM. Non-REM is made up of 4 stages. Stage 1 is a drowsy stage when the body begins to relax and you have a semi-awareness of your surroundings. In stage 2, body and eye movements cease and brain waves slow down. This is the stage we call falling asleep. Stages 3 and 4 are deep sleep. Breathing is regular and you show no response to what's going on around you. These are the most restorative stages of sleep. Moving through these 4 stages takes about 90 minutes, after which the body shifts into REM, the period in which most dreams occur. Your closed eyes begin to dart back and forth as if you're watching a movie, and brain waves speed up. The entire cycle of 4 stages and a period of REM sleep is completed about 4 to 6 times a night. I did not know that. That is really, really interesting to me. I really thought you just went to sleep. I knew you were kind of drowsy in the beginning, and I knew you had to get into some deep sleep somewhere, but 4 to 6 times a night, says Amy Wolfson, PhD, author of The Woman's Book of Sleep. Well, there you go. Now there's a book you can get too. REM segments last about 10 minutes at first and increase in length as the night wears on. Most of our deep restorative sleep normally takes place during the first third of the night, while dream sleep tends to be concentrated towards morning. Isn't that wild? We'll be right back to continue this after these messages. After a week of hearing hundreds of I can'ts, I'm here today to tell you you can. Find us on social media at facebook.com/The Julie Tussey Show and Instagram, The Julie Tussey Show, home of the original suburban bombshell. I have a secret. That's right. Lots of people ask me, Julie, how do you keep your skin looking so young? How do you look so young? Well, I've taught you on the podcast a few of my tricks on staying trendy and staying on point, working out, eating right. But I've never told you this before. I have actually used a product for 30 years consistently, and it's helped my skin look so much younger, and I'm so grateful. As a result, I have decided to go ahead and sell this very product myself. I use Time-Wise Repair Voluform Set from Mary Kay. It is amazing, and it has changed my skin dramatically. If you'd like to know what products I use and get them for yourself, visit marykay.com/Julie Tussey. That's marykay.com/Julie Tussey. And now, back to the Julie Tussey Show. So with dreams happening at the end of the night, it's very important that we understand how we get rest. Isn't that interesting that 4 to 6 times a night you go into the deep sleep, the REM, and then towards the morning you're dreaming? Sometimes people wish they weren't dreaming, but the importance of sleep, the effect of fragmented sleep, goes beyond a tired body. It also affects how you think and cope. With this kind of sleep deprivation, you're not just shortchanged on deep sleep, you're also getting less dream sleep, says Lauren Brock, a PhD Director of Education and Training at the Sleep-Wake Disorder Center of New York Presbyterian Hospital. Dreams provide more than fodder for the next day's musings. In fact, they play a surprising important role in our ability to think clearly. During REM sleep, the brain sorts memories, I did not know that, and processes the day's events, says Margaret Moline, PhD, Director of the Sleep-Wake Disorder Center. Lack of REM sleep can cause memory lapses and make tasks requiring higher cognitive functioning more difficult, leaving you feeling scattered and foggy, as in, did I just change a diaper? ? Poor mommies. For moms, this makes a range of daily activities problematic, from balancing the checkbook to conjuring up the patience to deal with a cranky toddler. Indeed, it's much harder to use techniques such as distraction or humor instead of yelling when you're exhausted. It definitely does make it harder. Sleep is so, so important. Newborn sleep patterns. Your infant's sleep patterns are nothing like yours. First, his sleep includes a higher percentage of REM. At 3 months, your newborn spends 50 to 80% of sleep time in REM, compared with your 20%. Second, his sleep cycles run approximately 50 minutes, and yours is 90. All of this means that your newborn will wake up easily, sleep for shorter periods, no more than 3 to 4 hours, and maintain his light disordered pattern, quote unquote, around the clock. Of course, if your baby's awake, so are you, which means you're on call throughout the night to feed and comfort him. This type of sleep deprivation, typical of parents of newborns, where over the course of 8 hours you're up 2 to 3 times for 20 minutes or longer, is even more grueling than getting just 5 hours of straight sleep. Why does the number of awakenings matter more than total hours? For one, sleep fragmentation causes a significant decrease in your deep sleep. That's because each time you get up and then go back to bed, you have to start the sleep cycle all over again. Makes sense to me. Entering the light stages before you return to deep sleep. The result? Exhaustion. Oh my gosh, I'm tired reading this. I'm so glad I don't have newborns anymore. I just let my kids have them all and I borrow them when I want to, and I go home and go to sleep. And all the glammas and the grandmas and nanas and mimis and mommies and honeys said amen. So here's some helpful sleep tips. All right, here we go, y'all. Whatever is coming between you and blissful unconsciousness, there are ways to reach your sleep quota. Number 1, make up for lost sleep. Over a short period of sleep deprivation, it's possible to compensate for some of what you've missed. When a person who's long been bereft of sleep finally gets some shut-eye, the brain will make up both deep and REM sleep, says Moline. You'll spend more time proportionately in deep and REM sleep than normal at the expense of the lightest stages. That is so true. Do you ever get so tired you just fall into bed and you feel like you just closed your eyes and you slept so hard it was only 5 minutes, but then you wake up? That's what that is. Sleeping a bit more on the weekends, say 2 or 3 hours, can be beneficial, but don't let a little extra dozing turn into a sleep binge. Overdosing on sleep can start a whole new cycle of deprivation, because then you won't be tired at bedtime. Yes, and they are preaching to the choir here, because I'm always trying to tell my kids that. They're 20, and they like to stay up all night long, and then they like to sleep all day long, and then they're not tired for the next night. So we have in the past, raising teenagers, made them stay up all night long and all day long and be exhausted so they could get it turned around. We called it turning around. Catch a nap, it says here. New moms shouldn't try to be more productive during baby's nap time. A 20 to 30-minute nap will refresh you without causing sleep inertia, that groggy, out-of-it feeling when you wake up. Oh, I've had that too. Most people, not just new moms, could benefit from a short afternoon nap, but don't sleep any later than 2 or 3 p.m. That may interfere with your bedtime. Now, I can go up to 4 p.m. and sleep for like a half hour to an hour, and I'm fine. If your baby isn't on a regular nap schedule, take advantage of the offers of help from friends and relatives. Let your mother hold and entertain the baby while you take a nap for a while. Totally 100% endorse that right there. Totally. We have a brand new baby in our family. She's actually 1 now, but we've been going through this for a year. And then we got another one 2 months after she was born. And so one of the great things to do is to go and watch the baby and let the daughters and the daughter-in-laws and the friends and let them sleep. Trade off middle of the night feedings. Okay, so this is good with your spouse or loved one. When one half of the new parent team works outside the home, it's tempting for the at-home half, typically the mother, to do all the feeding so the quote-unquote working one can get caught up in the morning. But taking on round-the-clock feedings can lead to serious sleep deprivation. It may make sense to rotate nights, so one person does all the feedings while the other sleeps. That way, at least one person gets a good night's sleep instead of both of you getting fragmented sleep. Nursing mothers might consider pumping milk so dad can take care of at least one nighttime feeding. Now, Jillian and Jordan, our second set of twins, we have Shay and Stephanie, and then we have Jillian and Jordan. And our second set of twins were preemies, so they were only 3 pounds when they were born. They got to come home when they weighed 4 pounds, but we're talking 2 ounces of milk maybe. And so I would have to feed them, and it would take forever to feed them. I would literally pump milk so that I could have more milk readily available and not have to breastfeed in the night, but it would still take it seemed like every 2 hours we got up to feed them, and it would take so long that I might get 20 minutes sleep. So my husband would take them, and he could do a feeding with them, and then he would put them on his chest. It was called feather and feed because they were premature, that if we wanted to hold them, we had to lay them on our bare skin and then wrap them with a blanket on top to keep them warm so that they wouldn't lose what little teeny tiny bit of fat they had because they're born with no brown fat when they're preemies. So he learned that in the NICU, and I was so thankful because he would take Jillian and Jordan, and we have pictures of it, and they're so tiny. I mean, their faces were about the size of an egg. Their ears were as small as my thumbnail. They were tiny. And so he would just lay them both right on his chest, and then he would make sure that they couldn't get off, and he would lay there and rest while they slept and while I slept, and it was glorious. And I'm so thankful to you, Gary Tussey, for doing that with me. Now, my daughter and her husband, they take turns. My son and his wife, they take turns. So it's definitely a great way for a new mommy and a new daddy to get some rest. Definitely help each other, you guys. The next one they have is turn down the monitor. Newborns are active sleepers. If your baby is groaning or whimpering in the night, that doesn't mean you need to leap out of bed. Teach your baby to sleep through the night. By 6 months, okay, see, I was right. By 6 months, most babies are capable of sleeping 7 to 8 hours at a stretch. To encourage your baby to fall back to sleep on her own in the middle of the night instead of crying for you, put her to bed while she's still awake. Weaning her from whatever strategies you've been using to soothe her to sleep, nursing or rocking, for instance, will teach her not to rely on these when she wakes up. Yep, that's what we did when it was old school, baby. That's what we did. Hormones can also cause sleepless nights. After ovulation, levels of progesterone start off high and then begin to fall. The more quickly levels drop, the more likely you are to have sleep problems. You may take longer to drift off, have poorer quality sleep, and feel more lethargic in the phase after ovulation up to the start of your period. The cramps and tender breaths of menstruation can also make you too uncomfortable to sleep well. Perhaps most frustrating of all is that sometimes we just can't nod off despite the fact that we're desperate for sleep. Here are some strategies for dozing off if you're having hormone issues, which a new mommy's going to have some major hormone fluctuations. Practice good timing to help prevent insomnia. Avoid eating heavy meals right before bed. Where did we hear this before? Don't do stressful tasks at night. Don't exercise in the 2 or 3 hours before sleep. And avoid caffeine within 6 hours of bedtime. A glass of warm milk may help. Warming the milk releases tryptophan, which helps some people sleep. Set the mood. Your bedroom should be a quiet, dark, temperate haven. Okay, a temperate haven to induce sleep. Use light blocking window shades, turn a bright alarm clock away from you, and use white noise machine like a fan if necessary. I do all these things, okay, all of them. And establish a sleep ritual. Doing the same thing each night before bed, such as reading a book or taking a bath, signals your body it's time for sleep. Try to make bedtime and wake time the same time every day. And if you're having a lot of trouble, go talk to your doctor. Well, that wraps up our Tired is the New Sexy series, episodes 1, 2, and 3. I think that they're going to be really, really helpful for you. That is my hope. That is my desire. Now, let's talk a little bit about some other things going on with the Julie Tussey Show real quick. You can follow me on iHeartRadio, iTunes, Spreaker. Please leave a good review. You can reach out to me at thejulietussey@gmail.com. You can go shopping and get some beautiful jewelry, some, essential oil soaps that I designed myself. They're beautiful. And some other gorgeous things right there on thejulietusseyshow.com. While you're there, sign up on the mailing list. Haven't sent out a mailing yet, but I'm going to. Go check me out at marykay.com/Julie Tussey. And please leave a positive review. Share this with your friends and family. Thank you so much for listening. This is Julie Tussey telling you, you only get one amazing, fabulous, wonderful life. Live it to the fullest and get yourself some sleep. After a week of hearing hundreds of I can'ts, I'm here today to tell you you can. Find us on social media at facebook.com/The Julie Tussey Show and Instagram, The Julie Tussey Show, home of the original Suburban Bombshell. To get your copy of the music you hear in today's program, go to cdbaby.com/CD/Julie Tussey 4. On the Julie Tussey Show, are you going to hear that you are not created to be ordinary but extraordinary? You are not created to be common but uncommon. You are not created to be average but above average. You are not created to be tolerable or passable. No, but you are created to be remarkable, noteworthy, impressive, striking, outstanding, brilliant, excellent, superb, praiseworthy. We could go on and on about how awesome you are. I have a secret. That's right. Lots of people ask me, Julie, how do you keep your skin looking so young? How do you look so young? Well, I've taught you on the podcast a few of my tricks of staying trendy and staying on point, working out, eating right. But I've never told you this before. I have actually used a product for 30 years consistently, and it's helped my skin look so much younger, and I'm so grateful. As a result, I have decided to go ahead and sell this very product myself. I use Time Wise Repair Voluform Set from Mary Kay. It is amazing, and it has changed my skin dramatically. If you'd like to know what products I use and get them for yourself, visit marykay.com/Julie Tussey. That's marykay.com/Julie Tussey. Visit thejulietussey.com. Lots of fabulous shopping, beautiful things that you might want to get as a gift or for yourself. You can also reach out to me and communicate with me there. thejulietussey.com. I've included at the end of this podcast a song called A Song for Julie that my husband wrote and produced and recorded himself. It's amazing and it's peaceful. I hope you enjoyed. If you'd like to get your own copy, you can download it at cdbaby.com. Just search Gary and Julie Tussey. If life is my oyster, darling, pass the hot sauce.